Hi everyone, Mr. Craig here. Today I'm going to show you how to create a Google form. The first step is make sure you are in your Google Drive. From there, click on this plus with new, and a Google form is not the first option, so you'll have to go down to more, and then there it is. If you are creating in a shared folder, it'll say that if you create this, anyone who has access to this folder will be able to see the form. And then it will bring you to the actual form itself. And I want to talk about the different themes and colors you can use. If you click on this artist's palette, it'll give you different options. The first is choosing a preset image that Google has, and you could scroll through the different categories over here. You can upload your own, or if you have photos saved on your computers, you can click on the Photos option. A simpler way to do this is just pick a color. You can pick one they have here or select one and add it, whatever you want to do. Green's my favorite color, so I usually just do that. You have 4 different font styles to choose from, so whatever you want to do, you can just pick. I usually keep it on basic or formal, sometimes playful because it reflects my own handwriting. Once you have that done, you can hit the X. Next is coming up with a title. And we'll just call this test. And if you click here, it'll just move that test over there. If you want to add a description, you can. It's not required though. And then you have the questions down here. It automatically brings up one question for you. First thing is decide what kind of question you would like. If it's a short answer, paragraph, multiple choice, checkbox, and then there's some different options down here. I'm not going to go into too much in depth with this. This is just going to be a basic overview. If you would like to know how to use some of the features down here, like the linear scale, let me know and I could definitely make another video explaining that. But this is just your basic stuff. I honestly always like, for my first question, having it be a name question. And I'll tell you why in a second. It really just helps with sorting. So my first question is usually last name. And another thing here, if you want the question to be answered, you have to click this required. If you don't, it can be skipped. So I usually require every single question. And then the plus sign will add a new one. And then I'll do first name. And I'll show you why at the end of the video. This just helps when you get your responses. This is the easiest way to sort it. And then required there. If it's something like a survey and names are not required, you can just skip this part. So you should determine, is this something where I would like to collect names, or is this something where I want it to be anonymous? If it's something where it's anonymous, then obviously you would skip that part. Then click this to add a question. And multiple choice. What is 2 plus 2? Type your question there. Add your options. It'll give you option 1, 2. To add another option, you can just click here, 4. Another option, 6, whatever it may be. Have the question required, if you would like. And if it's multiple choice, that means they can only select one answer. And the other common one that I use frequently is a short answer or long answer. And essentially it'll be something like this, where you can type in the question here and then require the answer to be either just a short little text box, which is like a sentence or two, or if you switch it to a paragraph, it'll give you more room to type. And if it is a checkbox, you can ask something where there's multiple answers, like select any food you like. Not a great question, but for the sake of a sample, it makes sense. Pizza, burgers, tacos, and then you can select just 1, 2, all of them. Doesn't really matter. Make that required. This is essentially Google Forms in its most basic way. Yeah, there are other type of questions, but the majority of the time, you will really just use the short answer, multiple choice checkbox. Again, if you'd like a more in-depth look at the questions, please let me know, and I can definitely do that. Once you have your form set, there's a couple things that I want to go over, and this is important because it could really mess up your results. The first is collect email addresses. If you would like this to be anonymous, do not click this. If you would like to know exactly who it's from, then you can click on this and the email address will show up for the person who filled it out. Being a teacher, I have encountered many creative names. I always have this selected just so that I can get an email and I know exactly who filled it out. But again, if you want the results to be anonymous, then do not have this clicked. Respond recipients is the next, and this is usually a default, and I click always. That way, the person who filled the form out will get a response of their answers, and this will come in handy if you want them to be able to edit it after they submit. Then they can find it again. They can just go to their email, open it up, edit, and they'll be good that way. Requires sign-in. I'm just gonna get rid of that for now. Requires sign-in. I work for the Whitnall School District. If this is clicked, it means that the only person who could fill out the Google form is someone who has a Whitnall School District email. If the form is school-related, then I have this clicked. If I'm sending it to people outside of school, then I have it unclicked. The limit to one response is a really important one. Let's say you're doing a type of incentive. You're showing a movie and you want to take a vote on what movie to watch. If you do not have this clicked, people can vote multiple times and skew the results. So if you click it, then it limits it to only one response. Please note that you have to collect email addresses because that's how it makes sure that you only do one vote. I already talked about edit after submission. See summary charts and text responses. That is only if you want the students to see the results. I usually leave that off. Presentation, progress bar, and that's, again, this is more of an advanced thing if you have multiple sections, you can show a progress bar. Shuffle question order, you can do that. However, I find it weird, especially if you start with last name, first name as the questions, and then it randomizes it. That would be kind of weird if the middle of it's asking what your first name is. Show link to submit another response. Again, if you only want the students responding once, do not have this clicked. Here you can put a custom confirmation message. I usually keep mine at the default, which is your response has been recorded. If you want, you can make this a quiz. If you'd like information on how to do this, let me know. The next thing is the preview feature. If you click on the eyeball here, it'll show you what the form will look like. Was 2 plus 2? I like all these foods. And then submit. The final thing I want to show you is how to access the results. You need to go back to the Google form, so remember where you saved it in Google Drive. And here it has the questions, and right next to it, it has the responses. And I added some more for us just to show you. And in real basic, it'll show you a summary where it'll have all of them right here, have a nice pie chart, a nice bar graph for you. You can look at it by question of who did what, individual, you can see, and then hit the arrows here to go over each individual results. You can export the information to a spreadsheet, which is what I would recommend. Either select an existing or create a new, and it'll create it in the same folder where you made the form. Here's why I like having the last name, first name. And the timestamp, that's always interesting because you can see when they submitted the information. I always like to hide that. And here, and especially if you're a teacher and you need things in alphabetical order, by having the last name, you can click on the arrow, sort A to Z, and then it will now sort everyone, and you could see the results. Very important, otherwise it's just going to go in the order of when the person completed it. That's why I like having the last name and the first name separate, just so you can always do a last name sort. That will come in handy. And then you have all of the responses here. That is it for our basic way to use Google Form. If you have any questions, please let me know. Thank you for watching.